TWD Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week is sponsored by Civista Bank and Matthews Ford. Hi, everyone, and welcome to TW Teleproductions North Coast Game of the Week, where we are in the den in the Kinzel Center at St. Mary's Central Catholic High School for an independent crossover matchup between the St. Mary's Central Catholic Panthers and the Margaretta Polar Bears. Both teams off to good starts, with St. Mary's winning their opener over Lakota, and Margaretta with 2 wins to start the season, one against Bellevue and one in their Bay Division opener against Willard. So Margaretta has beaten a couple of really nice ball clubs as we get set for activity in this one. It is Western night in the den, as the student section has their various little get-ups which reflect that theme. And Britt Cromer even decided that, oh, I guess that's a reindeer. It looked like a cow from across the gym. Western night, cows, all kind of goes together. Pre-game brought to you by Noble Axes, axe throwing in downtown Sandusky, at the Marketplace, at the Cook. The parents of head coach Steve Keller Sr., and Mrs. Keller, of course, keeping stats for the young'un. And some of the crazies in the student section. This is, we can reflect back to last year again. This is what we missed last year. It was just families. You didn't have the student sections, and it really is nice to have this atmosphere back once again. And I heard this sound Friday night, or Saturday night. I was like, oh my gosh, freight train running through the den. Here's the arrival of the Panther varsity in their second matchup. Just the previous night, the night before, they had beaten Margaretta. I'm sorry, they had beaten Lakota. Margaretta, the previous night, had beaten Willard in quite a game out at the Berg. And just as they had a great crowd on hand Friday night in Castalia, they're bringing them along on Saturday night as well. Your Fan of the Week is up next, brought to you by Snow Trails Winter Resort in Mansfield. Yep. There's a future bear. I guarantee she's probably got a basketball in her hands already. It's the way they raise them out in Castalia. Fan of the Week brought to you by Snow Trails Winter Resort, located in Mansfield. Polar Bear student section hitting the road on Saturday night as well. And the hometown crazies. Again on Western night in the den. These two teams went head-to-head out in Castalia last year. Joe Cheek, boy, he's always around when there's Margaretta athletic events.
Basketball again, I won't even embarrass you because the worst Bowling Green team in history beat Ohio U. Go basketball.
That's a cheap shot. When the cameraman is from OU, I'm amazed something didn't get thrown at him. Yeah, that's talking about wide-angle lens to get Mr. Jeffrey in there. And then the throwing begins. The atmosphere, this is what you have to put up with when you go into the den. At least he didn't block the call letters. That all is good. This has been interesting because I said something to Steve Keller before the game about, since these two teams split and went in different divisions, this will be the 6th meeting between the two. The previous 5 have all been won by the home team. He said after the game, when I talked to him on our post-game interview, said, I use that with our kids. I said, we got to break that trend tonight. So that was part of his pre-game. Tom Blink, the acting head coach at St. Mary's Central Catholic, Chris Sicoli, recouping from COVID, and ready to go once again and be back in the fold this week. But he has gotten past it and ready to roll. Something good going on in the paper, or we'll just ignore the fact that those newspapers are out for the other reason. Pre-game brought to you by Noble Axes. they have axe throwing in downtown Sandusky. If you were mad at somebody for saying that BG beat OU, take your frustration out with the axe throwing. Make believe what the target is and let her rip. All time in this series, SMCC has a 58-38 lead. And in the Den, even more so, 32-16, Panthers control the games that have been played in this year. You know, both these teams have floors that are tough for visitors to play on. The Den's a tough one, and the Berg's a tough one for visiting teams to come in as well. First quarter is being brought to you by the world-famous Paddle Bar, located in downtown Sandusky. World famous because we say it's world famous, doggone it. Hey, anytime you're on the web, you are world famous anyway. Hey, stop and think of it. I guess I'm world famous too. Here we go, opening tip. Ben Palomo, Aiden Kresser. And we're underway, and Margaretta will control. You know, when you look at who's coming back, Margaretta has their top 4 scorers from the previous season back again this year. So this makes them a favorite against a young St. Mary's team that has got a tremendous upside to it. And even when you look beyond the 4 grades of high school down into the junior high, their 8th grade class is pretty solid. So the young kids growing as the year goes along, with a lot of good youngsters coming up to replace them next year. Future certainly is bright. Jake Leibacher right there. If he'd have converted that steal, you probably would have seen a slam dunk. There would have been nobody to stop him. Previous night against Willard, Jake went off for 34 points in that ball game. This is Brock Gill, who for the Panthers, just like his number would indicate, had 22 the night before in the opener against Lakota. This is Casey Crooks down on the corner with Kresser down low. You'll notice Margaretta's defense in the first half. They are just playing in your face all the time. Aiden Kresser with a foul, putting Cameron Sosa at the free throw line. And on the second end of his opportunity at the line, we get our first points of the night. Here's your first look at our Civista Bank scoreboard with the Polar Bears first on the board. Gill doing his famous Marcus Haynes routine. And for those of you who are way younger than I am, he used to be a Harlem Globetrotter who really did some fancy ball handling maneuvers. This is Gill out top. Margaretta man-to-man, and when the ball gets down to the corner, they love to trap. That leaves Gill open for the long ball, which is off the mark. Saved by Cedric Cook underneath, and then the mad scramble on the floor. And it goes to Margaretta. Jake Leibacher will do it anywhere. He'll knock down a long ball. He will take it to the hole. He'll get open underneath. That little backdoor feed down low, and Leibacher with the left hand would scoop it up. You know, you coach young kids and you preach to them, work with the left hand, and they're always like, well, that's not the hand I normally shoot with. But no, it's not. But you get to use both hands like that, and Leibacher shows you in that last shot why it's so important to be able to use both of your hands. Sosa on the rebound for Margaretta, and Leibacher on the long feed down the floor to Palomo. And Nathan Schaefer operates the offense from there. Pull-up jumper off by Palomo. That's Hayden Wiley on the rebound. And the foul. Wiley in the first 2 games of the year has averaged 8.5 points a game. And this is a young man too. I mean, he's a big kid. Put him underneath, and 6'3" junior. He can be a power underneath, but he will sneak in the long ball on you from time to time as well. 5-0 Polar Bears, and Panthers going to talk about it early in our contest. Special thanks going out to the following businesses.
This is Signs of Good Business. Keep it local. Brady Signs. Toft Funeral Home and Crematory. Stephen J. Toft, owner. S&H Blinds and Floors. Wendy's. The Crimus Company. Asphalt, concrete, and excavation. Pizza House West.
Panthers with the basketball back after Margaretta jumps to a 5-0 lead on our Civista Bank scoreboard. Here's Cedric Cook getting fouled in the paint, and he'll head to the free throw line. Cook with 6 points in the opener the night before against Lakota. Cook 2 for 2 at the line, and the Panthers are back to within 3. Cook doing it at the defensive end as well. Whenever you play Margaretta, you always have to have an eye on Leibacher because of that. You saw him underneath with that left-handed scoop shot earlier, and now takes him downtown for an 8-2 Polar Bear lead. Nice feed for Kresser. Just couldn't finish. Nathan Schaefer on the outlet. And there is Leibacher one-on-one. He is just so smooth. He's played so much basketball, worked his game, and it shows. It's another look for Matthews Ford. You're respecting his three-point ability, but then he takes you on the dribble. Perfect spot on the glass. And the Bears have a 10-2 lead halfway through the first quarter. Nathan Schaefer kind of taking in the contact, but not able to finish it, so Panthers get another opportunity right here. Aiden Presser rebounds the errant 3, and Brock Gill controls the offense for the Panthers. Cedric Cook has the 2 points on the board so far until that basket by Gill. Cook had just come back into the lineup this week after missing some practices due to some sickness. Gill with a nice touch, and it's a 10-4 Margaretta lead. Now, Nathan Schaefer, as you watch him throughout the night, including that missed shot right there, he had 15 points the night before, 6 straight free throws in the fourth quarter to wrap things up. Ended up not scoring in this game, but when you watch him play, you'll know that he's an integral part of Margaretta's success. And it's the thing that Coach Keller was raving about his ball club that he's so happy about is that nobody really cares who scores. That is nicely set up. He did that the night before as well. Had a slam dunk off it the night before. Now watch Leibacher coming into your picture right there on the left. Ball will rotate away from him. And I don't know how they know it, but they see it coming and put it right there for Leibacher to lay in. It was close to a slam as well, but that's just working on that a lot in practice. reading the defense, seeing if it's going to be open or not, and pow, right there. Civista Bank Facebook replay of the game. Yeah, this is definitely worth another look. See Leibacher on the left side, or right side of your screen, coming toward the camera. And it's Cameron Sosa rotating the other way. And the ball gets to the far side. They see him cutting to the backside, and it's pretty easy 2 points. So somewhere along the line, I'm not sure if it happened in the first game against Bellevue or not, but I've seen it 2 games in a row now. You've got to be aware of that happening, but if you're going to put too much emphasis on it, then of course it opens up something else, which is the beauty of having a well-balanced club like Margaretta has. Again, ball reaches down toward the corner, and they are all over it with 2 defenders. Well, Coach Link says one way. Coach Keller said the other way. The officials talk about it. And Margaretta wins the battle. See St. Mary's right here in a 2-3 zone. And if you're worried about individual matchups a lot of time, that's what you're going to see is, let's zone them up. With Margaretta, though, it's so hard to protect against everything. Aiden Wiley distributing from that high post to the baseline for Palomo. It makes it a 14-4 ball game. Ben knows he's open. Hayden spots him. It's a little mid-range jumper off the baseline. And the Polo Bears, for the first time in the first quarter, have a double-digit lead at 14-4. See Gills setting up front. Thought he was going to have a shot, and then all of a sudden Margaretta's in his face. So instead it's going to be Cedric Cook at the free throw line. Second one makes it a 9-point spread. With 1:07 to go in quarter number 1. Get to a certain point in the quarter and you look for easy shots to develop. If they don't, then you go for the last shot of the quarter. Watch Margaretta now. You get their defense will jump you when you least expect it. 1 defender, back to the basket, 2 defenders, and now we've got an issue. Nathan Schaefer, oh, come on. You're going to call a foul there. Here's our pancake replay for Sandusky Bay Pancake House. Sandwiched like a pancake right here. Probably that little reach down under is what the official looked at. You see Nathan, me? You're going to call that on me? So now the Panthers continue to work that clock down in the first quarter. The pace of this game definitely different. Margaretta loves the up-tempo, the pressure kind of play. St. Mary's not wanting to match up that way in this game, although, Coach Link tells us that they will push the ball, but they want to push it under control and just make sure that they're not playing out of control. Margaretta scored the first 5 points of the first quarter. They assumed control from that point, led by as many as 10, and settled for a 9-point lead, 14-5 after 1. And have a fun night. Take a walk through the park downtown at nighttime. The Old Fish House bringing us our second quarter with knickknacks, snacks, and BS facts. The Old Fish House in Huron. You talk about peaceful and serenity and getting you in the holiday spirit. Right there it is. And make sure the Merry-Go-Round Museum is flashing at the same time because it's just a fun walk. Margaretta with a 14-5 lead on our Civista Bank scoreboard as we get ready to go into quarter number 2. St. Mary's controlling first. Here's a young man coming in off the bench who, in the opener the night before for SMCC, 11 points for Charlie Cafton. He's a sophomore and providing them with some nice depth off the bench. See Colson Beal on the defense kind of pointed down to his feet like he's outside that line. I'm not going there, but oh yeah, you got to. 14-8 on our second look for Matthews Ford. Polar Bears trying to counter with a 3. And Lance Powell on the rebound for the Panthers. Watch the man-to-man defense of Margaretta. They don't give you a whole lot of room to breathe. Right there, Schaefer fighting past the screen. Stay with his man. And you get into a double team, it creates problems. Great defense by the Panthers to knock that, what looked to be certain 2 points away. And then you get Hayden Wiley stepping up from downtown. Big guy makes it a 9-point Margaretta lead. Ball knocked into the backcourt by Gage Bodie. Sophomore off the bench for Margaretta, and Cedric Cook. You get those drives to the basket, and you make a lot of great things happen. If you catch the defense just a little bit back on their heels, you're getting this. A couple of opportunities at the free throw line. 1 out of 2 for Cook. It's a 17-9 ball game. And just in case you thought that Hayden Wiley was a mistake on that 3, there's another look. His second 3 in the span of just 25 seconds. Margaretta with their largest lead of 11. Backside rebound, Aiden Kresser for the lay-in. They'll put back, and his chance at a 3-point play. Another look for Matthews Ford. Look at Kresser just sneaking into position underneath, sealing his man, and basket and 1. It's an 8-point ball game on the 3-point play by Kresser, the 6'2 senior for the Panthers. Good look at that Panther 2-3 zone. Leibacher on the rebound. How many different ways now already have we seen Leibacher score in this game? Backdoor alley-oop. Rebound. Long ball. Putbacks. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If your team, you don't have to be a Polar Bear fan, but if your team is playing against Margaretta, just fun to get out and watch premier talent, and Jake certainly fits in that category for our area. Gill rebounds his own miss and continues the St. Mary's possession. Boy, that was a nice feed from outside, and sometimes they come too easily. Polar Bears working the perimeter against this 2-3 zone. Charlie Cafton making the defensive play for SMCC. And worth another look on defense as well as Cafton. Good anticipation. Steals a possession for St. Mary's on our second look for Matthews Ford. Here's Bringing the Heat. It's brought to you by Gunlock. Heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and refrigeration. Gunlock Sheet Metal Works on Columbus Avenue. It's Cafton. Just enough room where he can ambush the pass to the baseline and get a possession for SMCC. That's Bringing the Heat, and it's for Gunlock Sheet Metal Works since 1889, located on Columbus Avenue in Sandusky. The key, of course, is when you get a steal, try and take advantage of it. And the Panthers come up empty on that possession. Palomo's so good at that mid-range jump shot. And sometimes even from downtown, but boy, he's deadly on those 15-footers or so. Margaretta by 12. They'll try and increase it right here. Mason Miller, rebounded by Casey Crooks. And there's Aiden Kresser ahead of the pack again. And another three-point opportunity coming up for the Panther senior. The feed down the floor. It's good vision to see Kresser ahead of the pack. Margaretta rushes back, but not quite in time. And Kresser with a chance at a three-point play. He had one of those back at the 6:16 mark of this quarter. And now 2.5 minutes later, here he stands again. 24-15, Panthers get back to within 9. Well, talk about being in the right place at the right time. Aiden Wiley, a left-hander. Ball gets loose underneath, and he's right there to scoop it up and score. Leibacher trying to attack that basket a little bit too quickly, but Wiley's right there to clean it up, and the Polar Bears back up by 11. Well, a few moments ago, you saw Charlie Cafton, a sophomore, come off the bench for SMCC and knock down a three. And again, in case you thought that was beginner's luck, don't think so. Cafton had one in the opener from long range against Lakota. Now 3 in the second quarter of this ball game here tonight. Another look at the feed from Casey Crooks, and Cafton makes sure that Crooks gets on the board with that assist. That puts St. Mary's back to within 8 points again as Panthers just kind of keep hanging around. Let's see St. Mary's from their 2-3 zone. Leibacher finding a crease to increase that lead back to 10 again. Well, look, they had a few man principles this time up the floor on the defensive end. Leibacher got free, and just that quick little glance at the official, like, don't you think that might be an and one? No whistle. There's Aiden Kresser continuing with his fine first half, and the Panthers back to within 8 once again at 28-20. This was called an offensive foul. We didn't quite see it. Well, that is very, very minimal. Very minimal. And it was the official behind the play that actually made the call, and it wasn't the greatest position in the world with which to make that call. But either way, Thanks to the following businesses for supporting us here on the Game of the Week: Matthews Ford, Toft Funeral Home and Crematory, Hermes Parker Concrete, Noble Axes, Payne Nichols and Company, Sandusky Steel and Supply, Steinemann Hafner Insurance, Panthers down by 8 with a big opportunity to creep closer right here. That lean-in shot by Gill off the mark and rebounded by Ben Palomo. Kind of lapsed into that little mode of ticky-tack fouls here toward the end of the half. Now, Margaretta is so good at this. Toward the end of a quarter, they'll kind of work the ball and look for a bunny, and if they don't get it, then they just kind of fire from long range. And there it is, just into the last 2 minutes of play. And Cameron Sosa knocking it in from downtown, and it's an 11-point Margaretta lead at 31-20. Not too often you see a shirt and tie with shorts. And you see it in the corner of the screen right there. That is the #1 chanter for the Polar Bear cheering section. Cameron Sosa not liking the call, but that is the blue-collar workers, we call them for St. Mary's. Casey Crooks just doing what it takes. You know, that is the most difficult call for a referee, is the offensive foul. Is the defender has to give him at least a step before setting your position in front of him, and that was darn close. Crooks got the job done for the SMCC defense and gains him the possession back, trying to cut into this 11-point Margaretta lead. And now, battle on the floor results in a jump ball, which gives possession to Margaretta with just about a half minute to go in the first half. Here's the routine where Margaretta will work the perimeter, looking to see if something opens up for an easy bunny and inside. And once it gets down around 15 seconds and under, they haven't gotten the bunny, then they'll look for the last shot. This time they get two opportunities, neither of which falls, and the Bears settle for an 11-point lead at the break. Right outside Santa's house in downtown Sandusky, our third quarter coming up, brought to you by Ehobie Career Center with vocational education for Erie, Huron, and Ottawa counties. Also sponsored by Groff Funeral Homes and Crematory on East Perkins Avenue in Sandusky. Oh, you can see the Merry-Go-Round Museum flashing in the background. Here we go into our second half. Civista Bank scoreboard shows Margaretta with an 11-point advantage as the second half gets ready to start. This third quarter would prove to be pivotal in the final outcome of this ball game. St. Mary's starts with possession in the second half. Brooks against Leibacher down low, trying to find Fulham in the lane. But it ends up in the arms of Sosa on the kick out to Jake for three. Good start for the second half for Margaretta. See, Leibacher spotted up right there, and Sosa gets the assist. The follow through and everything, that's kind of like picture perfect stuff for Jake Leibacher. Second look brought to you by Matthews Ford on East Perkins Avenue. Margaretta stretches their lead to its biggest of the game at 14 points, 34-20. Now, Margaretta does their defense a little bit differently in the second half. It's still man-to-man, but instead of being in your face, it's just make it difficult for them to get up good shots. Give a little bit of space on them when they've got the ball, and certainly it's worked on the first couple of possessions. Panthers coming up with a steal of their own on the defensive end. And Palomo doing the defensive work. And Casey Crooks at the other end, trading it right back. Andrew Fulham coming up just a tad short on a nice effort in the paint on that floater. See Crooks a little bit shaken up, and Palomo knocking down the long ball for a 37-20 Polar Bear lead as they open up with back-to-back threes to start the second half. You see now with Crooks down and Fulham behind the play, two defenders short, something's probably going to open up, and it just happens to be Ben Palomo. So 2 minutes into the second half, and it's Margaretta by 17. You're not seeing the same jumping, double teams in your face all the time. Got a little bit of space out front because you know he's not going to shoot from mid-floor. Just challenging the offense to get a good look. And the Panthers, you see here, really having to work for it. Pull up by Gill. Bangs off the back of the iron. Then a foul on Palomo, sending Hayden Kresser to the free throw line. One out of two at the line, and that stems the tide as far as momentum is concerned just a bit. As Margaretta opened up with the first 6 points of the second half on those back-to-back threes by Leibacher and Palomo. Lance Powell drawing the foul and heading to the free throw line for a couple of opportunities for the Panthers as well. Kind of reaction from Lance kind of showed you the result of the first one. And the second one just a little bit wide right as well. Palomo rebounds and outlets for Sosa, who's going to end up with a long ball, rebounded by Leibacher. Leibacher that time not able to get into the basket, but still kind of flicked it up there. Enough of an opportunity where he goes to the line for two and will increase the Polar Bear lead to 18 for the first time in the game at 39-28. This is what you call an all-purpose big man for Margaretta. Hayden Wiley. Again, we showed you his work inside, but He's got a couple of threes in this game, and here Schaefer spots him open on the baseline for a 15-footer, and it's perfect. 41-21, first time in the ball game that the Polar Bears go up by as many as 20. Two whistles blew at the same time. You can see the baseline official kind of, okay, what do you got? Special thanks going out to the following businesses.
Signs of good business. Keep it local. Crush Wine Bar. Noble Axes. Axe Throwing. Dockside Cafe. And Pier Pub Bar and Grill.
Cameron Sosa increases the Polar Bear lead to 22 on our Civista Bank scoreboard, 43-21. And you can see the difference. If you remember back to the first half of play, how St. Mary's always had somebody in their face. Here, a little bit easier to work the ball, but still tough to come up with those real quality shots. Big thanks to all the following businesses for supporting the Game of the Week. J Bistro, downtown Sandusky. Gnome's Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. Good Time Lake Erie Cruises. UBS Financial Services. Cook Aluminum. BGSU Firelands College. Margaretta students pretty happy with what's going on up on the scoreboard as the Polar Bears shoot to go 3-0 on the young season. Tell you what, that battle in the Bay Division this year is going to be a doozy. Margaretta and Willard with a key matchup early the night before, which Margaretta survived by 10. And Margaretta with another key matchup coming up following this game when they travel to Huron to take on the Tigers. Lots of great games in that Bay Division this year. Tough to know how Port Clinton's going to come out of the gate when they first start action December 13th. Late start, obviously, because of their great run on the football field. Polar Bears in no particular hurry right here with a 22-point lead. They're going to be looking for the best quality shot available. Wiley, who's been so good with those long balls in this game, just off the mark on that one, and Sosa not off by much as well. Keep in mind now, at this point in time, St. Mary's has not scored a basket yet in this quarter. Now, Brock Gill somehow finding the range on that off-balance jump shot. Take another look for Matthews Ford. Gill was the inbounder. They send it right back to him. It's fouled by Wiley and still gets that ball to fall. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter, and that's the first basket for St. Mary's in the quarter. They had scored on a free throw earlier, but that was the first and only field goal of the quarter for the Panthers. We talked earlier about this being a pivotal quarter in this ball game, and certainly it tipped it from being a competitive game into a one-sided affair. And Panthers on defense as Margaretta looks for that bunny shot once again. Working the perimeter, looking for the cutters in the paint. Nothing there, and you watch when it gets to be about 15 seconds how it lapses into, okay, let's go for the last shot. And here they go. Well, by the time the ball gets in the hands of Ben Palomo and he scores at the buzzer, Margaretta has outscored the Panthers 14-4 in this third quarter to assume a 21-point lead after 3 quarters. Just second look for Matthews Ford. Palomo, probably under normal circumstances, wouldn't take that shot, but with the clock running down, you throw it up. And sometimes you just get the god of the glass to work in your favor. Love these pictures of downtown Sandusky, and that's what ushers in our fourth quarter of play on our North Coast Game of the Week, brought to you by Precision Body and Frame on Sandusky's west side. (45-24) in favor of the Polar Bears as this Vista Bank scoreboard gets us into our last period of play. Not a lot of glee on that bench in Pantherville. They knew what they were getting into, this Margaretta team, and Coach Link told us after the game we knew going into the weekend it was going to be tough, but if we were going to go 1-1, they got the win they wanted, and that was the conference game on Friday night against Lakota. Cedric Cook, good defensive work, turning into solid work on the offensive end. And this is a thing you have to be pleased with if you're on the Panther coaching staff. You kind of ignore the scoreboard now and you try to win possessions. And there's Cook, textbook knockaway using the ball side hand. Gains possession. Gets it to fall against defensive pressure and will shoot a free throw to boot. This is our Red Zone replay brought to you by Restore Pro Disaster Cleanup and Restoration. See the Panther fans in the background also reacting like it's a one-point game. All makes for a great atmosphere. 3-point play by Cook, and the Margaretta lead is at 18. Leibacher, so sweet to watch how strong he plays with the ball. 47-27. Gill once again off the inbounds, gets the ball right back and scores to make it an 18-point ball game at 47-29. Leibacher from deep. Aiden Wiley keeping the possession alive for the Bears. Doesn't happen very often where you see Leibacher with 2 quality shots in 1 possession coming up empty on both. That was a great bounce pass feed from Ben Palomo. And Gage Bodie finishing it up. Not much sweeter than a fast break bounce pass from the man to the basket. And there's Cedric Cook once again. Having a nice game for SMCC. Gill. Kind of keeping the possession alive and opening up that paint for Cook. Through two defenders, getting the Panthers back to within 18 at 49-31. Then Palomo contested well by Charlie Cafton. Gage Bodie's miss rebounded by SMCC, and the Panthers on the attack again, down by 18 on our Civista Bank scoreboard. That time on that defensive spot for the Polar Bears, the lane was closed for business. And that double team at the elbow to make sure there was no penetration. Palomo off the mark on the long ball, and here come the Panthers again. After a timeout being called on the floor, 49-31, with Margaretta holding the advantage with 4.5 to play in this fourth quarter. Casey Crooks at the line. Zip for two on that trip. So the ball goes back to the Bears. Brock Gill cutting in the passing lane and getting an easy two to make it a 16-point game. That's Gill again. He'll sense this coming. Left side of your screen. He was breaking on that ball before it was even passed. That results in the easy two for the Panthers. And they trail it now 49-33. Those kind of opportunities are big for St. Mary's, with Palomo scoring at the other end. Even bigger in the aspect of the fact that Coach Link telling us that this is a team, until they really get some more reps on them, going to have difficulty scoring with the basketball, so you take advantage of turnovers as much as you can to help support that offense. Sosa on the rebound, and the trigger down the floor to Schaefer. Cook will rebound it for SMCC. And that was a pretty easy call for the official. Cook, who had been pretty solid at the line all night long. This is on both of them right here. They saved that time by Colson Beal. Time of year where the Santa hats come out. He didn't look too jolly, though, for some reason. Then Palomo puts the Bears back up by 20. Palomo doing a nice job of working that baseline off the head fake. takes it up strong and builds that lead to 53-33. Both coaches decide in the last couple of minutes to let some other players play that have not seen a lot of varsity action. St. Mary's made their move, and you can see the new green shirts getting set to check into the ball game. It's Kyle West with a short-range jumper bounding off. Rutger had the rebound and then had it poked away. It's Jackson Rutger. Alden Gibson for Mason Miller. What a jump shot off the mark by Reese Keegan. And this is Garrett Jackson on the rebound for SMCC. And Garrett is going to head to the free throw line after getting fouled by Keegan. Jordan Muzader. Team is at 21 points. Kyle West pulls up for three and gets the Panthers back to within 18 at 55-37. Another look for Matthews Ford. A little bit more impressive in the fact that he kind of lost the grip on the ball a little bit, got it back, and still fired it home. Into our final minute of play here in the ball game. Off in the corner, Dylan Myers for three. So a couple of back-to-back threes down the final minute of play makes the game a little bit closer at 55-40, and now you're just going to see the ball being dribbled out here as the game pretty much over, and Mason Miller will hold on to it until the end of the ball game, with Margaretta leading it and winning at 55-40 to increase to 3-0 on the year. And the Panthers falling to 1-1. So that does it for this presentation of the North Coast Game of the Week. When we meet again, one of those classic Bay Division battles going on between the Huron Tigers and Margaretta Polar Bears. We'll see you next time from the jungle in Huron on our North Coast Game of the Week.